Hello everybody and welcome to another full day of meals, Cheap Eats Day 4. And today is Saturday, and on Saturdays I'm going to do something a little different, and I'm going to continue with the throwbacks. So this is another 1950s full day of meals. I feel like there is so much that we can learn from the way that they ate, as far as it's all pretty much budget friendly. They were on tight budgets in the 50s. You know, I read and it says what they would do is they got their allowance from their husband. Yes, I know, but they did. And then they would go and buy what they needed, and then they would go to the butcher and say, this is how much money I have left, what can I buy? And then the butcher would get them whatever kind of meats and stuff that they could have. They were on a budget. So I feel like, you know, there is just so much that we can still learn from the way that people ate in the past, the way that they cooked. There's still just a lot of information that is good. So let's go on and just jump into this, and make sure you give a big thumbs up if you want to continue on Saturdays to see meals from the past. I was thinking about the 60s with fondues and all of that for next week, which again, easy way to make something cheap. So just let me know if that's something you want me to continue with. So here we go, full day meals from the 50s. So first we're going to make the blueberry buckle, and we want to start off with our shortening, a half a cup of shortening, and we're going to beat that. Then we're going to add a half a cup of sugar and one well-beaten egg. After that is all good and mixed up, we're going to set that aside. And in another bowl, we're going to start to sift our dry ingredients. 2 cups of flour, 2½ teaspoons of baking powder, a 1/4 teaspoon of salt, and just sift that together. And then you're going to alternate adding that back to the batter that we were making with a half cup of milk. So a little milk and then a little of your flour mixture until you've used up your half cup of milk and all of your flour. And then in a well-greased dish, you're going to add your batter. It's pretty thick, more like the consistency of a cookie dough. And just want to press that out and cover the bottom. Next, you want to top that off with 2 cups of fresh blueberries. And then we're going to set that aside and start making our crumb topping. For that, we want 1/4 cup of butter or margarine, kind of melted but definitely soft, a 1/2 teaspoon of cinnamon, a 1/2 cup of flour, and a 1/2 cup of sugar. And then just get in with your fingers and make it into a crumb mixture. And then once that's done, you just want to put that on top of your blueberry buckle And you're going to bake that at 350 degrees for about 45 to 50 minutes. And here is what it looks like when it is all done and out of the oven. So this is breakfast. The orange and banana cup, the ham omelet, and the blueberry buckle. I cannot wait to dig into this. And then a glass of milk. It says serve with milk, hot chocolate, or coffee. So we did milk. So now we want to go on and make our brownies first. We need 1 stick of butter, and we're going to go on and mix that with 1 cup of sugar. Cream that together. And then you're going to add your eggs one at a time until they are well combined. 2 eggs. And then you're going to want to add 2 ounces of unsweetened chocolate that you have melted. Along with 1 teaspoon of vanilla. And a half a cup of flour. Your oven should be set at 325 degrees. You're going to pour this into a greased pan. I like to line mine with aluminum foil. It just makes it easier to lift it out. And then you're going to top it with some walnuts and bake this again at 325 degrees for about 30 to 35 minutes. All right, and then here is lunch. Just a few of us are going to be doing lunch. So we have some green beans, tuna, toast, deviled eggs, tomato slices, and then the brownies for dessert. I did make 2 batches of these because we are also having those for dessert tonight. And now on to the pork chops. It did not actually have a recipe just for plain baked pork chops, so I'm just doing it the way I always do, which is heat a little olive oil in a pan, and you're going to brown your pork chops. And I like to season one side with salt, pepper, and poultry seasoning. And then just transfer those to your baking dish. And then add a little bit of chicken broth, cover it, and bake it at 350 degrees for about 20 minutes. And now we're moving on to the spiced pears. There is no measurements here because the only recipe I could find was for canning, so it was huge. So just add some brown sugar, a little bit of vinegar, whole cloves, and a cinnamon stick, and a little bit of water. Stir that up, and you're going to bring it to a boil. And then you're going to let that go on and boil for about 15 minutes. It will kind of thicken up a little bit. And then you're going to add your pears and cook those for about another 15 minutes, turning them once. I did peel and I did get the seeds out, and I cut them in half. And this is dinner. So we have our pork chops, mashed potatoes with gravy, spiced pears, green beans, and a relish tray. And dessert is brownie a la mode. Ice cream, hot fudge, and whipped cream. Okay, I hope you guys enjoyed this, and I will see you guys tomorrow for another full day of meals, cheap eats. And don't forget to give big thumbs up, subscribe if you haven't already. Bye, everybody.